We're at the Insead Leadership Summit Europe, celebrating the school's 50th anniversary. I'm here with Mr. Lars Forberg of Cevian Capital. Welcome.
Thank you.
So how were you affected by the economic crisis, especially since you deal primarily with European public companies?
This is not the first crisis we're going through, a financial crisis. We've been through a number of them. And personally, I came out of business school in 1990 in Sweden, where we had a financial crisis in 92-93. So I saw that firsthand. And I saw the problems, but I also saw the opportunities. I learned very early on about that. So what we concentrated on in this crisis was to make sure that our companies, of course, manage the crisis as good as possible, but also prepare themselves for the upturn that ultimately comes after a crisis. We don't know whether it comes, within 6 months or within 2 years, but it's going to come.
Is that your Swedish nature? Because a lot of people know what you know, but they don't react in the same way.
You can react that way if you have told your customers, i.e. our investors, that that's how we operate. We've told them you cannot rely that we're going to make good returns all the time. If there's a liquidity crisis, the price of our assets will go down as well. But on the other hand, they are rewarded by very good performance because we can concentrate on what is important in investing. There are so many people out there having the investment strategy of asking the question, where's the share price of this company 6 months from now? And that question is incredibly difficult to answer. It's 90% psychology and at best 10% reality. Whereas we ask the question, where can we bring the value of this company 5 years from now? And by asking the question that way, a different question that the other participants are asking, we will find answers that the others don't see, and then we can manage our business that way. It creates a lot of value.
Which leads me to the question of government intervention in the times of an economic crisis, whether it's in Greece or whether it's global. How essential is government intervention?
Well, I think we've seen in this crisis that was of utmost importance. Without government intervention, I speak broadly now in terms of both the financial policies and the monetary policy, it was absolutely necessary. I think it came a bit too late, but I actually think the politicians and the central banks did a very good job. Now, I do think, having said that, with the expansionary policy that they've had, I think before that, the policy was still too expansionary, and I think it should have been much tighter. And I'm typically a hawk in these ways. I'm now a hawk again. I was sort of welcomed what the central banks did in 2008, but I think it's time for tightening.
The economic crisis obviously had devastating effects on many levels. Do you think it, in some ways, has raised social consciousness on the part of companies?
Maybe it has. I think this may be due to the crisis, but I think it's an overall trend that social consciousness is increasing, and for the good, I think. We're seeing that among a number of our customers, our investors, who are more interested in this issue and make this an important part of their investment decision, which funds to invest in. And I'm seeing that also more in my board work, where I'm on board of companies where this is more and more an issue for us, both for business reasons, because customers and other stakeholders believe that this is so important, therefore you have to be there, but also for more altruistic reasons.
Thank you very much for joining us on Insead Knowledge.
My pleasure.